My cheating wife abandoned me with 4 kids. 12 years later, she regretted everything. The call came at 2:13 a.m. I didn't answer it. I already knew what it was. The phone kept vibrating on the kitchen counter, rattling against the wood like it was nervous, like it understood what that call meant. I watched it from across the room, arms folded, my back against the fridge. The house was silent except for the breathing of 4 children asleep upstairs. 4 small lives trusting me to keep the world steady. Her name lit up the screen. My wife. No, not my wife anymore. 12 years had passed since the last time I'd heard her voice. 12 years since she walked out with a suitcase and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. 12 years since she chose someone else and left me standing in a doorway holding our youngest while the others cried behind me. I let the phone ring. Then it stopped. A message appeared. "We need to talk, please." I closed my eyes. For a moment, the past surged forward. The night air, the sound of her heels on concrete, the way she didn't look back. I remembered how calm she'd been, how rehearsed, like she'd practiced leaving me. I picked up the phone. I didn't reply. Instead, I turned it face down. Some doors don't close, they seal. And when they open again, it's never for forgiveness. It's for reckoning. 12 years earlier, I had believed in routines. Dinner at 7, homework at the table, her laughter drifting from the bedroom while she talked on the phone. I believed consistency meant safety. I believed love was something that stayed if you fed it enough effort. I was wrong. The first crack came quietly. A password change, a phone turned face down, perfume she didn't wear for me. I noticed everything and said nothing. That was my mistake. Silence teaches liars how far they can go. The night I found out, she didn't cry. That still haunts me. I'd come home early, no warning, just instinct. Her phone was on the counter, buzzing. A message preview lit the screen. "I miss you already. Last night was everything." I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I just stood there, feeling something cold spread through my chest like ink in water. When she walked in and saw the phone in my hand, she sighed. Sighed, as if I'd caught her forgetting milk. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this," she said. I remembered nodding. Calm, too calm. "How long?" She hesitated. That was my answer. When she left, she didn't fight for the kids. She said they'd be better with me, said she needed to find herself, said she was tired of pretending. I watched her pack. I watched her walk out. I watched my children learn, in one night, that love could disappear without warning. And I promised myself something in the silence that followed. I would never let them feel abandoned again. The years that followed stripped me down to bone. 4 kids, 1 income, no time to grieve. I learned efficiency the way soldiers learn survival. Mornings were military operations, lunches packed with precision, bedtime stories read through exhaustion. I smiled when I wanted to break. At night, when the house slept, I thought about her lies, about how carefully she'd planned her escape, about how easily she'd erased us. I didn't chase her, I didn't beg. Instead, I rebuilt, quietly, strategically. I took night courses, learned skills I could monetize, turned exhaustion into discipline, pain into focus. I documented everything, expenses, schedules, milestones. I became the parent who never missed a meeting, the father who never forgot a promise. And slowly, opportunities came. A promotion, a partnership, then my own company. I didn't celebrate, I invested. The kids grew, strong, grounded, loyal in a way that comes from shared survival. They asked about her less as time passed. I never poisoned them with bitterness. I told them the truth, carefully measured. She made choices, I said. So did I. Years passed. Then one day I heard her name again. A mutual acquaintance, a casual mention. "She's not doing great," they said. I nodded. I already knew. The second call came a week after the first message. I answered this time. Her voice was smaller than I remembered. "Took you long enough," I said. Silence. I didn't know if you'd—" "You knew," I cut in. "You always knew." She told me everything without my asking, how the man she left me for had left her, how the years hadn't been kind, how regret had followed her like a shadow she couldn't outrun. Then she said it. "I think I made the biggest mistake of my life." I smiled. Not because it felt good.
Because it felt final. We met in public. A cafe. Neutral ground. She looked older, not just in years. Worn. Fractured. She reached for my hand. I let her touch air. "I want to see the kids," she said. I slid a folder across the table. Inside were photos, graduations, awards, smiles she wasn't part of. "They don't need you," I said softly. "They needed you, past tense." Her hands trembled. "You turned them against me." "No," I replied. "You did that yourself." She asked about my life. I told her everything. The company, the house, the stability, the peace, not to brag, to clarify. "I built a life without you," I said, "not because I wanted revenge, because I had to survive." Tears fell, real ones this time. "I thought you'd fail," she whispered. "I know." That was the moment it broke her, because she realized something far worse than anger. I didn't hate her. I didn't need her. I stood to leave. She grabbed my sleeve. "Is there any chance?" I looked at her hand, then at her face. "No." One word. Clean. Final. I walked out while she cried into the table, surrounded by strangers who didn't know her story, or mine. That night I went home to laughter, to a house full of voices that trusted me. I didn't tell the kids she'd called. They didn't need reopening wounds that had healed. I sat alone later, lights off, and thought about the man I used to be, the one who believed love meant endurance, the one who thought betrayal required forgiveness. I was wrong. Some things don't deserve closure. They deserve distance. She lost a husband. She lost children. She lost 12 years she can never reclaim. I lost nothing, because I kept what mattered. And when my phone buzzed again with her name weeks later, I didn't even turn it over. Some regrets arrive too late to be heard, and some victories are quiet, permanent, cold, final.